Welcome to the road to 1 million US dollars. Let's get right into the Bitcoin chart for today, starting on this 1 week time frame for Bitcoin, because right now on this 1 week time frame, we are seeing a bearish divergence, which we have talked about previously when it actually confirmed. However, right now, this is actually still just playing out. So I wanted to point to this once again. Now, in the case that you're not familiar, a bearish divergence typically points towards either some choppy sideways price action or potentially some bearish momentum on the time frame that it occurs on, which in this case is the 1 week time frame. Now, yes, as I will show you later on in this video, if we start getting some bullish candle closes above these previous highs, then yes, we could be open to the possibility of an actual invalidation of this bearish divergence, which of course would be if we, for example, trade above this descending trend line in the RSI, or we actually trade above this ascending trend line in the Bitcoin price, although I do think the RSI being broken is more likely. Either way, one thing I did want to show you guys here once again is simply that a bearish divergence on the 1 week time frame is something pretty serious, because last time we had a bearish divergence like this, it was actually the start of the bear market. Look, it's like I can already read the comments. No, I'm not saying that this is the start of the bear market. Please do not get me wrong here. But I just want to be clear in saying that we do have this bearish divergence in the charts. So before we can really start expecting these massive moves to the upside, we need to see some kind of bullish confirmations on, for example, the 1 week, for example, the 1 day, or at the very least, the 4-hour time frame, that we are indeed getting those moves higher. Now, let me show you some examples of things that I am looking out for example, on this 1 day time frame. What you may notice is that over the last week or so, we have basically just been trying to break this level of resistance here, sitting from 104.5K all the way up to 106,000. And this 106K level also aligns with this previous high. So it's actually quite critical that we end up taking out that level with confirmed candle closes, because in that case, yes, then we can start looking towards more moves to the upside once again for Bitcoin. But until that happens, guys, and I will keep repeating this over and over again, we have to be open to the possibility of simply another move to the downside for Bitcoin, because we haven't seen that bullish confirmation yet, in my personal opinion. Now, for example, as a level of support to the downside on this 1 day time frame, perhaps look down to this level from 100 all the way down to 99,000, or maybe you could even look at an ascending trend line or something like this and see if we find some support there. But either way, to be extra clear here, no, I do not think that we are now heading into a bear market. But at the same time, I am open to the possibility of another move to the downside here until we actually clear, ideally, this 107K level with confirmed candle closes, because then I'm starting to look for another move to the upside. Besides that, we can also take a look at this symmetrical triangle pattern on the 4-hour time frame, because this has technically broken out to the upside. As with any breakout, I look for 3 confirmations. I'm looking for, obviously, confirmed candle closes outside of the pattern. So yes, we can check that off. Secondly, I'm looking for rising volume in the market, especially on that breakout here. And I'm not seeing that rising volume just yet. I mean, the volume is fine here. However, at the same time, we are about to head into a weekend where typically you see that volume drop off quite significantly. So unless we are getting a strong bounce off of this point of the breakout sitting at 104.5K, then I think it is quite likely that this is going to be invalidated over the weekend. And of course, the third and final thing that I'm looking for in a breakout is to perhaps see a breakout retest resumption type of structure to emerge, which happens quite frequently. And yes, technically that is still possible. But like I said, we are about to head into a weekend, and usually on a weekend, we are basically just chopping sideways. So look towards that 104.5K level as a point of invalidation. Next, taking a look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, first of all, on this 1 week time frame. And notice how we do have some liquidity sitting at about 107.5K. as well as liquidity to the downside, sitting at around 101,000. And currently, as we are heading into this short-term move to the downside, it looks like we are grabbing a bunch of liquidity here, for example, at 104.3K and potentially even 103.9K. So do look out for those areas to be swept in the short term here, even if possibly it turns out to be a wick, and then still do not invalidate this pattern yet. But I do think the Bitcoin price is getting attracted to these levels here. Lastly, let's take a quick look at the Bitcoin ETF flow table. Yesterday, we saw a net inflow of close to $200 million into the Bitcoin ETFs. So yes, of course, so long as the Bitcoin ETFs keep buying hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin every single weekday, this is going to have an upwards pressuring effect on the Bitcoin price. I quickly want to thank you guys who subscribed to the channel here recently, and of course the long-term subscribers as well, because we are now getting very close to reaching 10,000 subscribers. And honestly, I did not think that this was ever going to happen. So thank you guys for that. But regardless, this has been today's market update. Thank you very much for watching once again, and I will see you tomorrow in the next one.